Hey, everybody. Little Titan Tuesday going on here. It is that moment to ask questions, and then just a heads up to everybody who checked in last week before. We're going to be getting to you right after this live. So if you didn't check in, this would be a time to take a moment to jump over there.
Would you not check in?
Yeah, guys, check in. Check in. And then we got Big Stud. Hi, Captain.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good, friend, brother. Good. All good. Ready to rock and roll with you. I was just telling the Titans if they want to ask questions, they may do that. Or if they want to do check-ins, they can do that as well. And
Sure.
I got Big Johnny on Tuesday.
Yeah. Titan Tuesday, baby. You know we're rolling. Coming
I
up
love
on
it.
Christmas real quick. Which I do like that green sweater that you're wearing. You got Christmas colors on, rocking. I know it's one of your favorite holidays.
It is pinnacle for me. And I think
Yes.
Titan is at the most amazing age for Christmas. So I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We're getting
All
all
those gifts.
the fun stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Johnny, how you holding up, kid?
Doing good, man. I'm doing good. Rocking and rolling. I mean, went from 2 dogs to 4 dogs real quick. You know.
Yeah, you did.
So that's another intake. Like it's like 2 kids adding on to the family at the exact same time. Hi, Mona. How you doing?
How are you?
Awesome.
I
I'm
love
doing good.
the-
I'm doing good.
I love the videos with the dogs. Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Yeah. Last week was it was cool. It was cool. Last week we did training. I mean, obviously, and I got Sasha about a year and a half ago from the same guys. And when my bully died, they wanted to add another dog. They kept asking for a puppy. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get another puppy. Oh, what's up, Titan? How you doing,
Say
dude?
hi, Uncle Charlie.
Hi, Mr. Ray.
Oh, it's good to see you, man. I see you doing so many things.
So it goes so fast. It goes right.
Flying that plane, dude. I love it. Man, I see
Ready
you
for
MVP of
Christmas?
football.
Yeah.
You ready for Christmas?
Yeah.
I want my presents.
I want my presents now, Uncle Mr. Ray.
The question is, what do you really want for Christmas? What is number 1 on Titan's list for Christmas?
Okay, tell
What's
me
number 1?
What do you want? What?
You don't know.
You don't know?
What do you want? Come on, tell him.
I had a oven. I have a big one.
What do you want?
What's your favorite thing right now, Titan? What's your favorite thing?
Runway with the text play. Who have to play on
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Translate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're playing on it. All right. Get over there. Go get
Definitely
your
something
foot
with planes, it looks like.
Yeah, 100% planes.
He loves planes, huh? I love
Is
it.
this the
love
British
it.
Airway? Okay, I
Wow.
got that right then.
Top Gun,
Give
baby.
mommy a kiss. Perfect age. Perfect age.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
Right?
I mean, man, their minds are just open and free. There's no restrictions, nothing like, I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. I love kids. They're so honest. They're so like pure and innocent. It's a breath of fresh air to talk to a kid, even if you're not talking to them about something serious. It's just something very cool. So awesome.
I'm going to send you a video on WhatsApp to the work phone, and it talks about kind of like what John was just talking about and what I've talked about the ignorant bliss. Just get it downloaded, and so if we get into that discussion, I think there'd be a great commercial. Yeah, that's the one.
It's nice.
I had Mark Bell in town, and we got to discussions, and it's a cool thing to have faith in yourself or an ignorant bliss in yourself, because you weren't guaranteed back in the day to make a successful business, but you said, you know what, forget this. I'm going in. And did you have, when you started Titan Medical, did you have the naysayers, even though they were friends, the guys go, it's a little risky, man. This isn't.
Yeah.
Did you have that?
Of course. We had our parents on both sides. They did not want us to do this. Like, hey, listen, you guys are going to get in trouble. People are going to die. You guys aren't doctors, like all this stuff. So that was one major factor. And I'm both fathers at the time, both mothers at the time, told us go back to do what we're supposed to be doing and not this. Every doctor, like the first couple of doctors that I, attempted to approach about doing this with me. And because I was like, man, I need to get a doctor that's going to be on board the whole time, not going to leave me. We're going to be able to build this, maybe have his own practice because now you can start filtering patients, into this, start the business off good. But, the first couple I approached and, I was going to give them a hefty percentage of the business at that point, which I'm glad it worked out not that way.
Yeah.
And at that point, they told me I was crazy, and they knew something about testosterone too a little bit, but when it came to anti-estrogens and like gonadal support, like using HCG or enclomiphene or whatever it was at the time, it was mainly HCG. They're like, well, no, because anti-estrogens are a cancer drug. And then, we're going to be using HCG, which is why it's fertility. Like this is counterbalances and counteracts each other. So I'm like, whatever, these guys, I'm like, it is what it is. I know, like I'll find somebody, and I did. I literally found somebody. I literally found somebody that knew about hormones, knew about HCG and all that. Kind of did some HCG stuff in the past, and was a doctor, and he was a really good anesthesiologist. And at that point, that's one of my main medical directors today. So he's still with me, still on board. But everybody else back then, like. When I was getting everything together, they're like, there's no way. And then now you're going to become a steroid dealer. Like, it was mainly, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to get in trouble. Or it's not going to work. That was the other main one. The other main one was, I'll remember to say, nobody is going to inject themselves. Testosterone is for steroid abusers. And people are going to have heart attacks and going to die someday. Like,
is this
not for the average person?
2011, 2012?
2011, 2012.
Crazy to think that just that time. I'm just looking back at my stuff. I was doing American Gladiators those years. And then before that, like 2000 was this show Battle Dome. And I'm just sitting there back there. 2012 wasn't that long ago, but it's amazing the jump that a facility like Titan Medical has done to make it safe for everybody out there to call somebody and talk to somebody that understands this stuff more than their family doctor. It's pretty darn cool. But it's mind-blowing to me that it was just a short period. This is a long time for your company, who was one of the first in this. Yeah. But it's wild to think these other companies are jumping on the bandwagon. It's cool that you did it, man. Now,
12 years.
Jump back to that kid that's sitting there. Geez, at this time, you're early 30s and you're jumping out, and you got all these people saying, no, this is ridiculous. Don't. Well, what was it with
not even that, right? I still got a 2-year-old at home. Okay.
You're not supposed to.
My
you're
dad's
not supposed to make
working.
jumps like that. You can't make jumps after the fact. You can't make those kind of. No. That's what you do in your 20s. Let me risk it all. But I got nobody at home to risk it and pull down with me. But you had, the missus and the little one. So,
and that was the other thing. Like, Sharice wasn't like a liability or something that would drag me down or even be against what I'm doing. She was in the fire with me, working alongside of me. Playing an important role as well. So, that was a good thing. I was supporting Cass basically, like we support each other, and that was good. That is a benefit that a lot of people don't have. They're usually by themselves and solo. And then, they're getting knocked around by everybody, So that was one benefit I would give myself, in the situation, but everything else was against us. My dad wasn't working at the time at all. I mean, so, I'm taking care of him financially, us financially, everything going around us. So that was kind of tough because in the first year, I wanted to make sure I was like, we're not going to spend any amount of money that we do not need to. I'm not taking home any paychecks or anything like that. If I needed to cover some money, great. I would borrow it from the company and pay it back. But that's how I built the first year or so. And, we were in the black the first year, big time. So it wasn't a bad year at all. It was like, man, like we're rock and rolling. But even Sharice in the beginning kind of questioned it because, we're sitting at home because we didn't have an office in the beginning. and we're working off a cell phone. And at that point, like, you know, it was just sitting there. Obviously, it wasn't ringing. And she's like, "Hey," she's like, "You know, do you think this is gonna work? Because I mean, like, it's kind of getting down to the wire, and you know, we got to think about Peter." And I was like, "I understand." I was like, "Listen," and she'll tell you this to this day the exact same way. I was like, "Listen, that phone one day is never gonna stop ringing. So I definitely think that we're at the right path." You know, we sat in bed before we really committed to this. We had a $2,000 tax return check, and that was the money that started Type Medical Center. We had enough money to buy a cell phone, incorporate the business. I got an iPad, which I could use a hotspot. So if I needed more internet service or to run a printer, you know, I could do this mobily and do it like that. So that's kind of how we started. And then we found an office space that, you know, we could rent per hour, per day. Luckily, we found another physician that had this. And we did that. We bulked appointments together where we would come in and we would schedule like 6 to 8 patients that day and knock them out. Boom, 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 boom. Get it done in like 5 hours, pay for the 5 hours, and then go on our way. And then it was this snowball effect. Get the patient the result. That's all we worried about. And from there, it started spreading. I had a mobile kit and setup because the first advertising we bought was an H2 Hummer with over 100,000 miles on it. And I financed it for 6 years. And the finance manager told me I was crazy because nobody does that on a truck with over 100,000 miles on it. He became a patient. So it just worked out like that way. That was our best form of advertising because we were driving 30 minutes to our office every day. So that was the first point of advertising. And it kind of popped off from there. And we just did the right thing and word just spread. So that was a little bit of the beginnings, but everybody was against us in the beginning and nobody thought this stuff was going to work at all. And you just got to believe in yourself. And that's why I said, like, I knew when I started, I'm like, because I knew some of the background of the blood. Like, Shree's got us, like, you know, we were working these physicals for the spring training for the Yankees and the Red Sox down here in Florida. And we're running EKGs, running blood work, you know, just basic stuff. But I was like, hey, man, I was like, what do you think the difference is on these guys? And when I started seeing that in the lab work from regular people to athletes, and not just cholesterol or blood cell counts or you know, how their thyroid is, but literally like really all their hormones. We were like, man, like this is crazy. And people don't even know about this. And then, you know, that fact, it was like, all right, we need to bring this forward. And in the industry, there was people out there before me, but those people were doing some bad stuff. Or it was like steroid clinics, like, right, you go there and they're like, hey, listen, what do you want? And then, you know, they kind of give you a list and you pick on that list and you pay for it. And like, all right, cool. And the scripts go over and they get it. You know, for us, we were in it for the long run. We knew that we wanted to be conservative. We wanted to do right by the patient and improve on some of these different things that we seen wrong in the healthcare industry, like making patients wait in the lobby 30 minutes and then bringing them back and wait another 15, 20 minutes and then see the doctor for 5 minutes and be on their way. You could do that, but that's not the way it should be. So that's kind of how we were changing it there, and then offering some of these different things that people didn't even know about. NAD back then, glutathione back then. Are you kidding me? These are like alien words when I used to speak them in 2012 and 13. Even 15, 16. I mean, it really started getting hype around about 17, 18. And then people started catching on, and then, you know, this started spreading because, you know, people start seeing successful things and they're like, all right, well, how do I get into this? How do I do this? And then other doctors like, how can I do this? And like just this last weekend, the A4M was going on in Vegas. I didn't get to go. It's the American Academy of Anti-Aging, and they hold a conference every year. You know, the president of one of it was, right? So,
yeah,
you know, I was going to go out there. I couldn't get out.
Got to talk last year at it, so it was nice.
Yeah, no, it's great, and they share information from around the world, so it's really good. But you know, that's kind of like, you know, it was the basis of what we were doing. But yeah, that's how it is, you know. So at that point, we wanted to be the highest standard in this industry. We wanted to give it, you know, a good like makeover, I guess, of what was going on before, the black eyes and all the other things that were happening, and set ourselves apart from that. So, you know, that's kind of what we did with Titan.
Yeah, there was so much against you because you think about like the Bauchi and all that going on in those eras of the before the Bonds and all those guys. It was like,
think about it. Baseball, wrestling, when dude killed his family and the whole nine. I mean, you know, it's like that was a big deal. Steroids were a big deal. They were demonized in a lot of different ways. They still are. There's a lot of stereotypes about them, and like all steroids are not bad. Anabolic, cortical. I mean, steroids have a place. And, I think that if people can change their bodies like they want to, like you go in, you're a female and you see some of these cat ladies that have had so much plastic surgery, it's ridiculous, right? They want to change their body. They're not hurting anybody else. Some of these things that guys want to do for more of a athletic, like if they want to do that, that's their choice. As long as they're not hurting anybody or hurting themselves, I guess. But to a degree, even if you get so much plastic surgery, like that's not good for you either, right? Like, so, where do we draw a line in the sand in telling somebody what they can and can't do? Do I think it could be unhealthy for people to abuse these things? Absolutely. 100%. Taking it too young? Absolutely. But can this happen in other things too? AKA alcohol. I don't know, drugs in general. I mean, how many kids are on drugs these days? How many people are on drugs these days? So I don't know. It's I think it should be a something that people can choose and not have to worry about people getting down on them for it, especially if they need it. And that's where we're really going with it, where people have to hide and to take this because somebody is judging them. And it could be a wife, it could be a friend, it could be a business member or team. I mean, I got off the phone with this guy who was 61 years old. His wife is a surgeon. And he has to hide the fact he's on testosterone because his wife is so against testosterone. And he's like, I don't know why. I think you're muted. I can't hear you, Mike.
Sorry. One thing I was just curious about on someone like that is that the ultimate goal for your body is to be functioning correctly and
Right.
trying to minimize the decline as best as possible would be the ideal for this. And so you would send your husband or wife to the doctors if they're not, something's wrong or something may be wrong. And so a blood work from Titan Medical could show you before a large amount of symptoms. It can see just a typical easy lack of energy, motivation, mental clarity. It could show you just some basic stuff before you start thinking there's something really wrong with me. But wouldn't it be okay to fix those things? And wouldn't you want your partner to be okay in that sense? It seems like that would be it's a weird statement because it's like I agree with you 100%, and I think Frank Grillo said it great. It's like I've always believed in the fact of if you're going to compete and stuff, don't. If you're going to compete against others and do something, I say don't. But if you're just out there and you're this 40, 50-year-old or whatever age, you're not functioning well and your body's not working well, it just gets you back to the normal level or even a level that's a little better than normal, but still in the range that you can be your superhero self. And I would think that's what your partners would want. And I think that's what you would want for your individual self if you're out there and you're listening to this right now.
And guys know, right? Like if you have low testosterone, you felt these symptoms, like you kind of know what you're going through. They really don't know. And they might know when they have menopause or they have low testosterone because they're going to have the same symptoms as females. Like I said, that's what I was kind of talking about. Like it's the stereotypes and the judgmental people out there that just kind of get it wrong. But it is what it is. I mean, that's why I tell people, I'm like, listen, blood test. And if there was something wrong with like your cholesterol, your blood pressure, you would listen to a doctor to take those medications.
Be right on that medication. Instant.
Right?
But not testosterone?
Instantly. But yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, and this is crazy because our bodies naturally produce this. I just made a video about it, like a little clip that we were talking about on live, like anabolic steroids. I'm like, well, we all have anabolic steroids in our body, and no, we don't get it from an outside source. We get them from our body because it produces it, and that's testosterone. And that's one anabolic steroid. It is what it is. So, I think that getting back to a natural, healthy, optimal level and seeing this through a blood test is really the way to go. And if you don't want your partner to be the best they can be, I guess, then you go against it. But if you really are truly in it for your partner and want them to be the best, and this doesn't happen all the time where they hide it. There's actually partners that call on their partner's behalf and get them signed up for a blood test because something is wrong. They do love them, right? There must be something going on where they see the signs and they're like, listen, like I want to get my partner checked. And that's where they come in, or they call and they get set up nationwide in a zip code and a lab in their area. So at that point, like it's really easy and simple. Oh, what's up, Jeff?
Yay, we got a little something here for you.
So we get this question a lot, and it is: do you have any injuries you have to work around? And the reason I'm pulling this up is because I know Titan Medical obviously helps thousands and thousands of people with the same exact question with like the BPC.
Yep. Oh, bam! Look at that. I like that, Jeff. Got the answer right up for him.
So, John, explain this, because I know that people do ask me a lot, injuries or owies and stuff like this. And I think regardless if I do or don't, and regardless of your individual self do or don't, I think this is helpful for anybody, because most likely at some point in that journey of life, hopefully you all live it as long as I have and longer, that you may run into a speed bump. And here's one of Titan Medical's, I always think of this as a preventative. This isn't stop waiting is the best way. I don't want to take too much time here, but I just want to say, for me, stop waiting to bulletproof yourself. And my Tuesday talks aren't about, hey, what should you do later? My discussion here, and I wish more would grasp this, is here's some things you can do to bulletproof your body. Johnny, take it away, my man.
Yeah. So listen, for BPC 157 body protection compound, okay, this is something that's natural to the body. And this is something that's going to help in a number of different ways, not just for acute and chronic injuries, because obviously that's going to help tremendously, but for prophylactic and preventative care. So at that point, like we have tendons, we have joints, we have our ligaments. You know, this is something that, you know, maybe over time that, you know, you want to take care of, right? Because as you get older, and if you don't take care of them, or you've abused them in different ways, and that could be like throwing a baseball a lot, just like me, where, you know, my shoulders are not where I want them to be. And I didn't have this beautiful compound back in the day where I could use this to be preventative or even to help some of the injuries that I've occurred along the way. So with BPC 157, we're talking about helping all these different acute or chronic injuries, whether you have them, but in preventative sake, if you're lifting a lot or you're living life, you're most likely going to have some sort of injury along the way, right? Whether you're walking outside, you twist an ankle, or you're in the gym and you have a shoulder tweaked, or whatever happens, right? Or maybe you're playing a sport, something happens there. This is going to help there too as well. So, I mean, from elbows, knees, shoulders, ankles, even this, right? Even if you didn't hurt yourself and you had to have a surgery, this is going to help heal you quicker in that surgery. Lately, I've been getting a lot of people that had foot issues. Like I had to do an injection, like a video for somebody that they had this on their big toe, some problem. And so I showed them how to inject on their big toe. And I have another guy that just had surgery on his foot. He's documenting this, you know, with BPC 157 and TB 500. And right now, I think he's 2 weeks ahead of schedule in his repair as far as recovery wise. So, you know, whatever the case may be for you, this is going to be a help. Now, even from some different issues like IBS, or, you know, maybe you have some different stomach problems going on, BPC is awesome for that specifically. Like that is another use for it where you're having these issues, ulcers. This is another one, right? Going straight to the stomach. And that's really where you get the best effects from BPC. Now, they say some different things like, you know, it can protect vital organs and such. I'm not going to say that, but it possibly could. I don't know. I mean, but more in the light of, hey, listen, this is going to create more blood vessels to create blood flow to the area that's injured to help repair that area. And like I said, if it's stomach, we can get oral BPC where you can take it orally and go right to the issue. And that's really where the oral can dominate in that place. is if it's a stomach problem, oral will work great. If it's not, probably going to want to go with injectable. And it's real simple to do with a little insulin needle. You do it subcutaneously. We have tons of videos on our YouTube page, Type Medical Center. On our social medias, we post them, but YouTube will have the full videos on there if you guys want to go check them out. And at that point, like if you guys want to know more about injections, you can go there and look at some of the different ways that you can inject our vitamin amino acid injectables, our testosterone, and I'm going to make new videos too as well. Or if you have a specific place, I'll even customize a video for you and make one, because listen, people are doing this in all different types of places. Like I literally hear about a new place almost every day. I'm like, wow, really? I'm like, I mean, because, you can beat yourself up in different ways, man. So, I'm all for trying to help people, one, get over the injury faster or recover faster from a surgery, or maybe even prevent having to get surgery, right? Because that's something that people don't want to do. And, it's something that as I get older, I'm like, damn, I don't, hopefully I don't have to do surgeries because I don't want to get knocked out, because that's a chance to even come back from every single time. I want to have a low risk life. I mean, I've had high risk my whole life. I like high adrenaline, high octane, but as I get older, I want to just enjoy. I want to be around. So I'm just trying to take preventative measures in every way I possibly can too as well.
I love it. I love it.
Hey guys, I have a sedentary job. Currently, I am starting to have lower back and neck pain. What exercises / routines or supplements would you recommend to help recover? Thank you. And this kind of ties in with that.
This goes right into BPC 157 and TB 500 for sure. If you're having these acute pains in lower back, neck pain, also look at inflammation too as well. That could be a playing factor, and that can be caused by diet or different things that cause inflammation. So if you have inflammation in the body, obviously get that checked. But the good thing is with TB 500 and BPC 157, this will help take some of the inflammation away too as well. So, as far as taking away, hopefully, that acute pain and taking away the inflammation out of the body will hopefully help the neck and back pain.
Now, those two, they sound kind of similar when I see stuff and like I'm reading literature on TB and BPC.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay to take just one or the other, or do you recommend getting both of them together for the best effect?
Sure. And this is a question I get a lot, and they do act similar, right? To a certain degree. Like you'll both see on these ligaments, joints, tendons, muscles, connective tissues and flexibility is more TB 500 driven. When these healing compounds came out, the first one that came out from the pharmacy that we could use for patients to prescribe to them, I used it because I was very skeptical. I think this was 2017, like somewhere around there. I was really skeptical. I'm like, man, they call this, this and that. I'm like, is it the real deal? And I remember I had tennis elbow and golf elbow at the same time. So my right arm was screwed. And I used it on both. And at that point, usually it would take maybe a week or two to get over. I mean, I was over in like maybe 3 or 4 days. So I was like, this really helped. So I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. And of course, I was having shoulder problems back then too as well. It helped along with that. And I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, I'm a big believer in this. So I only took BPC 157 in the beginning, and that helped tremendously. So usually when people ask me, like, which one would I usually go with first, it usually is BPC 157. But both of them together, that's the winning combination. Like I've seen people just take TB 500 for some different issues and then get a great result. So I'm not going to just knock that down too. But I mean, I'm just giving my personal experience. So, but off the patient's their experiences, I mean, like I said, I've got it both ways with just taking one. But majority of people, if they really, really want to get a great result, they take both.
I just want to add in really quick that if this is the right question, is that the question there?
Yes.
Help recovery. So if you can, anybody and everybody here, think of the job that you have and how to bulletproof yourself with the exercise and combinate. I like that. That's a Mike O'Hearn. Put that in the dictionary. That's a new word. Combinate. Take both. Let's combine the fact of you trying to prevent. If you're sitting all day, what's that neck doing? What's that lower back doing?
Right.
So understand, hey, this is my job. Whatever that position is set up, that could be your job for the next 10, prevent it. Start doing some hyperextension. Start working some serious back stuff to try to strengthen your lower back with the combinate with the TB500 and the BPC. I think it's just, again, it seems as though humans wait until the problem, and they don't realize weightlifting is made to prevent or hold off as long as possible those issues that we're all going to deal with one day. But why not wait and push it down the road as far as possible? And so I agree with John on, if there are two things that can help your connective, can help your body recover from these things, I would be, for me, it's Christmas every day, because I get to do TB500 and BPC prior to anything. And so when people ask me, have you been injured and stuff? I've had owies. You get owies. Listen, I've done gladiators for 20 years. I did Battle Dome for years. I'm a continuous athlete my entire life. And so when somebody goes, hey, you're a bodybuilder or powerlifter, it's like, that was 10 years of my life.
Right.
That was nothing. That was a bleep. I was done by my late 20s, but athletics, yes. And this is what has kept me healthy and in the gym like I'm doing today. Again, this is before the fact. And the reason I just want to say before the fact is because this gentleman, or I think Tom was the name. Yeah. Tom, continue to take this information that's been signaled to you already and continue to do that with the rest of the body is my point. Sorry. Just be preventative.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. I always bring it up too. I'm like, we're sorry when it comes to preventative, like people in general. Like, it's just sorry. Like, you do everything else. You maintenance everything else. You take care of everything else. But people don't take care of themselves. And it just is what it is. I don't know what it is, because I see a lot of doctors do it. I just, people in general, right? Like, they take care of everybody around them, but they don't take care of themselves. And I'm like, why? I'm like, because I'm taking care of everybody else. And I'm like, well, how long can you do that for without you breaking down? And then when you break down, who's going to take care of everybody? Like, that's a factor. Like, you would want to be in the best shape, best physical health you can possibly be, because you can take care of everybody else better. Because here's a
crazy study for everybody that's out there. And if you are a dog person, you already know this study. A study shows that 80% of dog owners are 100% giving their dogs their medicine and don't take their own.
Yep.
That's a wild comprehension.
Yep.
They 100% take care of their dogs, give them the medicine that they're supposed to have for that time and whatever it is. And 80% of them do not do their own medicine. That's a crazy number to think about how people operate. And again, it's stop thinking it's narcissistic to go to the gym and take care of yourself or to look pleasant. If you can't, and I agree with Bedros made a great post, if you can't look in the mirror and be happy, there's some things that you got to take care of, because all that stems, again, being happy with yourself, even if it's a small process for you. And I'm not saying the world needs to be happy looking at you, but you be happy looking at you. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. Get to the gym, train, take your medicine if something's going wrong. If you got high blood pressure, you got cholesterol problems, if you have low T, if there's something, take care of it.
Dude, I'm talking about, just getting a blood test done. You don't even got to, I'm not even talking about going to the gym. I'm not talking about changing eating. I'm just talking about generally checking up on your diagnostics and then making the change. But knowing where you're at, right? And recognizing, hey, listen, I need to take care of myself. And not even, I'm not even going to push it towards Titan to get a blood test. I'm talking about even going to the dentist and making sure oral health is there, because that could lead to cardiovascular problems, right? I'm talking about taking care of yourself, like literally taking care of yourself. And at that point, like, people get so busy, like Shree's the same way. And like, she hates the dentist. Like, she has to be put out, like, so she can get her teeth cleaned. And I'm like, Shrees, you got to do it, right? You don't want to do it. You got to do it. So these are just things like, just to open up your eyes, like, take care of yourself, because literally something can happen. And once you're gone, like, the world that keeps spinning, but the people that were depending on you cannot depend on you anymore. That just says what it is.
I like this question because of the misconception that lies within it.
All right. How do you train abs to show? Because mine ain't showing, and I've been at it for almost 3 months now.
How common is we've all heard that one.
All right. You want to start this one, or you want me to start this one?
Do you have anything saved on the computer? You got to save some stuff. Like I sent you a picture from Ben Stiller's movie where he goes, "Don't go full retard."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you got to get some of those.
Soundboard
Yeah,
stuff?
some soundboard stuff. Just like
All right. All right. So
go
how do
for
you
it.
train abs to show?
Help them out. Help them out.
Train abs to show. Well, you got to be lean enough for abs to show, and then you got to develop the ab muscles. If you've been at it for 3 months, you better keep plugging along, especially if you ain't shredded, because they ain't gonna show. This is something I developed earlier because I did a lot of like, I don't know, when you do conditioning for sports, like back in the day for like football and all that, like you're running a lot, you're doing a lot of push-ups, you're doing a lot of different weight training, all that. You're gonna develop, especially if you're eating probably, but as a younger age, you can get away with eating a lot worse stuff, I guess. So as you get older, you're gonna have to start watching what you eat. I don't know how old you are. I don't know what your body tape looks like, but 3 months is like a drop in the bucket, right? Unless you were like a gift from God genetically already, then you're not gonna have. I know a guy in high school, literally, his genetics were so good that he had abs. He never worked out. He was a big, jack dude and never worked out. I mean, it was listen. He was in military school with me, so I knew like these guys didn't leave campus.
Do you guys
have
run
anything like?
Do you guys run
Huh?
every morning? Do you guys military camp? Did you guys run every morning? Mostly those
Absolutely.
years. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we ran every day. We were in formation all day, except we were in school. From school, we went back to the barracks. You know, we were working on our schoolwork for an hour. If you had sports, you leave to go to that sport. You play that sport for an hour. You'd come back. You'd shower. You get back in formation. You go to church, right? Go back in formation. Go to the mess hall. Eat. Back to formation. Back to the barracks. Back to studying. Taps is out. We're good night. Wake up the next morning. Hoorah! Let's go. I mean, that's how it was. So I mean, that's kind of like, I mean, I loved it. So that I thrived off it.
You're a
I
psycho.
was a runner, guys.
You're a
I was a
psycho,
runner
man.
till I got out of college. And when I got out of college, I'm like, damn, I'm like, you know, I'm still like, I didn't have the size I wanted, right? So I'm like, you know what? If one guy told me, he's like, listen, stop running. That's your first problem. He's like, second, you better start eating a lot more and you better start eating clean. And I used to train with a dude all the time, and that's how I started getting bigger. I was like, all right, cool, I'm on this journey, right? But that's a whole other thing. So you're gonna have to train. I don't know what to say. Like you're gonna have to train and you're gonna have to eat right. And at that point, just keep putting in the work till you see what you want. But it's about chiseling away. Like nobody gets instant gratification unless maybe you want to go get plastic surgery, get ab implants, do all that thing. And it still looks fake. And right, if you don't maintain, then it's gonna go away anyway because fat, the way it is, even liposuction. People think, all right, I'm gonna get liposuction, it's all gonna be on my body. All right, cool. But you know what? When you start eating garbage and the fat cells start expanding and going into different areas, that's what happens. And that's why some people look jacked up after they get lipo because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're doing all the wrong things. And the body will adapt to that. It's just the way it is. Like the fat cells get taken out of the body, but like those other fat cells will grow and then we'll start filling in the gaps in some of those areas. So, you know, yeah. So that's what I would say. I know everybody says that abs are made in the kitchen. Of course, you got to be lean. You got to have a good diet. But at that point, you got to work them out too. I know some people say you don't have to work out abs. You don't have to work out abs. Like as long as you're eating good and you're training from other body parts, you're going to get secondary growth in your abs and they're going to come out and they're going to be defined. That's bullshit. I mean, in my opinion, maybe somebody else has something else to say about it. Maybe you do, Mike. I don't know. But from my opinion, what I've seen and how I've done it, it's definitely, you got to start. You got to do ab exercises. Maybe not as many, but abs are one muscle that you can work out every day too as well. That and calves, they say. So I don't know. I mean, I would work them out at least 2 to 3 times a week. Not anymore. I think I do 1 time a week now. If I really want to get down, like we're going to Olympia, or I know you're going to come in town, I might start hitting them 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm talking about maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just to sharpen up some different areas. But this year in 2025, I want to get real crazy. I'm going to get real crazy in 2025. I'm not just using, oh, it's a new year, new me. I just want to get real. Look at Ty. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. And you know the percentage that he's in as a kid? And you would think, because back in the day, kids were in better shape. He is like at the ultimate 1% probably of kids in shape. I mean, dude, you got 6-pack like that. I mean, you're starting off life really good.
So kind of like Johnny said, yeah, Titan doesn't train abs. He just has them. But, you know, he's got to be doing something. He's cheating somehow. That being said, you've been training 3 months. Cool. Great job on keeping track, and you're doing your 12 weeks. Just make sure that, you know, everything's on point. Abs might be the easiest muscle to get. You know, we all have muscularity under our fat, and then it just depends on if we can remove the fat to show that muscularity. It's not like Titan trains abs. He's just, you know, eating well and not getting too fat and growing. But just for any human, it's, you know, it's that funny meme that says if you show your abs and you're under 250, it's like, do you really have abs? It's like, well, that's harsh. 250. Wow. Okay. I like that though.
250 is big.
But the point is, you know, it's like abs aren't that hard. So I think there's something going on. The twofold on this is that you saying 3 months, which to somebody is cute. I guess you would say it's like it's adorable. Yeah, it's good job. Good job. 3 months. We're proud that you're doing it. Just make sure the nutrition's on point and train your abs like you feel like you need to train them right now. But just continue to keep in mind it's slow, and you should see progress.
6-pack. All right, so here's the thing, right? So according to small percentage of people often cited, 1% have. So right now it's around only 8% of men in America have a visible 6-pack.
8%.
8%. 8%.
You want to see Titan again?
I mean, dude. I mean, for real. I mean, the kid is like, you know, he's a specimen for sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not easy to. Mike says, "Oh, it's easy to get abs." Mike,
I did. I said
you
that.
have abs.
I said
but
that.
It's really not easy for people to get abs. I mean, it was easy for you. It was easy for me. It's easy for some people. But some people out there, they're not on the right track, and they don't have the dedication to get abs. It's not going to take 3 months. If you've been a sack potato for 30 years, haven't done anything, eat like garbage, haven't done any activity, you're 230 pounds at 5'8", it's going to take some time to get abs. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some dedication, nutrition, and it's going to take maybe some testosterone from Titan Medical Center. You know, if you have visceral fat, belly fat, right? And your whole body is starting to trim up. You're having problems in that stomach visceral area. Then testosterone could be the therapy for you. One, raising growth hormone levels is going to help with your metabolism and leaning out and recomposition of the body. But it's also going to help out with that visceral belly fat and attacking that. Now, testosterone is an FDA-approved peptide therapy, okay? And this is a really, really good one for people if they're trying to get on track to losing this belly fat, that maybe this is the last of it. Maybe this is the start of it. But this will be the start of your journey in helping you get to where you want to go as a result. Plus, you could stack this with many of our other therapies. And if you're overweight, or if you have belly fat and you don't know why, and something could be off, that's the perfect reason for a blood test. And there could be something off hormonal. If you're working really hard and you're doing your diet, you're doing your exercising, and you're not seeing any visible results, whether it be the scale, the way you look in the mirror, or how your clothes fit, then that is like a perfect scenario of like, listen, I need help to find out what's going on. And that would be to contact us. Nationwide service for you guys. It's very simple, very easy. And we can help you get the results. I'll help you attack that visceral belly fat. So you can get abs and go out on the beach in the pool and look like a superstar. Or make a whole bunch of money on social media because you have abs and you can show them off every day.
I just saw a young lady, and Stephen Smith was talking about this. A young lady on social media made more than
Yep.
the higher. You saw that the higher
like
paid
40 million or
NBA
something like
basketball.
that.
Yeah, a crazy amount of money, and a total. The OnlyFans ladies made over $6 billion compared to the complete. I guess you would call it payments for basketball was at $4 billion.
Yeah.
It's like good for them. At the end of the day, you know, they're making their money.
I mean, I'd seen the one girl, she
Yeah,
made like
just
40
shows.
million in a year. 40 million in a year. One guy gave her 4 million alone. One guy tipped her 4 million.
How horny is that guy? Maybe he is a Titan Medical and he's on what's the stuff that you shoot in?
PT 141, some Supermans.
No, I'm thinking
the Trimix.
Trimix.
He's
got
doing the
a pack on it.
injectable.
Check out Bobo if he's running that check on him. It's like, and that just
He'll be in the emergency room, man. Like, oh no.
Let's talk about the give and take. Let's talk about that. So hypothetically, she made the money. That's what she wanted to do. Good for her. But talk about the pros and cons of living with low T compared to correcting it with Titan Medical. Because people see this and the comprehension is you're going to be healthy. You're just getting to a regular dose of what is healthy and you get a move and groove. And I can speak of this. I got a little flu or something the other day. And it's that typical statement that is the person that is sick wants one thing, where the guy that's healthy wants 100.
It's true.
You know, and it's such a simple little correct of your mind. Some things hurt you, but also straighten out your focus again.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing? Health. End of the day is health for the individual, and then take care of the rest of the people in your life, in a sense. But talk to us about how Titan Medical is just getting people healthy. That's the ultimate goal here, because it's funny when a lot of these people will go to their family doctor and the doctor says, you're fine at 250. You're in range. And you sit there and got these symptoms of your weight, you're fat, you're lazy, not motivated anymore. And people talk to you, and how do you be so motivated and passionate? Just be normal. Should come that motion. And so there might be a trigger there to go check yourself and get your blood work done. But Johnny, take it from there. Just the point of just being healthy. Because we always talk about what it could do for you, but just being at a good base, what it could do for you.
I mean, listen, we're here a short time on this earth, and at that point, like, you want to live your best life. And I'm not just saying it as a line, I'm being honest. Like, you want your quality of life to be the best it can, because you really don't know how long you're going to be on this planet. You don't. Nobody does. Nobody has a crystal ball saying, I'll be here 10 years, I'll be here 20 years from now, 30 years. You'll be gone tomorrow. So with that being said, I mean, if you're having negative symptoms, right? If you're experiencing fatigue, you know, you're experiencing belly fat coming on, poor sleep problems, ED, erectile dysfunction, you know, you're not motivated anymore, and you're kind of turned off by things that used to really turn you on, you know, whether it's, I used to go play basketball, I used to do this, and you don't want to do it no more. Or you're having brain fog. This is another big one that has a low testosterone symptom all over it. These are things that you should correct, because when you're feeling bad like this every day and you have to mask some of these different symptoms, you're actually doing more damage than good. So you're not doing any good whatsoever. You're actually just masking the problem. And when you go in to get help and you go in to say, let's say a general practitioner, and you get a blood test done because they run it for you, and you get back your results, and the results, let's say it's a LabCorp result, 264 to 916 is the total testosterone range for a male. Doesn't matter what age you are. So you take this test and you come back and you're 265. Okay. You're 1 point from being low or clinically deficient. Now, at that point, he tells you, you know what? You're within normal range. You're on the lower end, but you're still within normal range. They're not going to treat you with testosterone, right? And this is what needs to be done to get to the root of the problem, because this is what you're low on. And if this was up to a healthy, normal, optimal level, then you're literally turning back the hands of time. And you're going back to a level where you were at your ultimate best. Let's say it's 21. I like to say 18 to 21, you should probably be your ultimate best with testosterone. This could differ for some people, but that is the good range. So when you can turn it back like that, you're like, well, why not? Do I really want to go on feeling like this? And when he tells you no, you're going to be like, okay. And then he's going to be like, listen, what are the problems? And you're going to say, listen, I have AD. He's going, all right, cool. Here's a Viagra for you. No problem. Got that. All right. And like, I feel depressed and down, like about nothing. I don't know what. And I'm like, here's some antidepressants. Now you got two things that are going against you because you're having to rely on ED meds to have an erection. And then you're having this antidepressant possibly that's bringing you down too as well, or make you into a zombie. Some people need them. A lot of people don't. I'm just throwing that out there. That's just my belief. There are people out there that need it, and there's people out there that don't, and they're getting prescribed medications that they don't need. Okay. So if this happens, then you're getting caught in this whirlwind. You're still going to have low testosterone, and it's just going to keep going down from there. So if you fix this, let's say you went to Type Medical Center because we don't care about insurances, and that's the real deal. Doctors can't say it's a clinically deficient test, and no insurance company is usually going to cover it. So when that happens, now you've wasted all this time, because it's not as easy as Type Medical Center where you call, get a blood test, get it back in 3 to 4 business days, get put on the schedule. You get this all done in a week or two. When you go through the other channels, the old channels, as I like to say, with your general practitioner or something like that, you're going to have to wait, go in, talk to them. Maybe they'll write for the prescription of the blood test. Maybe they won't. If they do, then you take it. You're going to a lab, getting that done, waiting for the results to come in through there, which could be weeks, then getting the call, then getting scheduled for your appointment, and then having that appointment, and then not knowing what's going to happen in the appointment. With Tide Medical Center, you're going to get your blood test done. We're going to get new patient paperwork as we're waiting for that blood test. We're going to get that all back. We're going to even pre-look at it and say, hey, listen, are we going to be good with what we're going to do? Look it over, call the patient, give them a brief over. Do you want to get scheduled? Yes. Get on the schedule, see the medical provider, go over personal regimen. Boom, you're on your way. It's that simple, that easy. But a lot of people go through these old channels, and one, it usually never gets done like the way they want it. And then they've wasted all this time. Then they come back to Type Medical Center. Or two, they're just so turned off about the whole idea, and they just take the ED meds and the antidepressants until they're really fed up. And then they'll make that decision down the road.
I hope they don't. Hope they don't.
I don't. I hope that, everybody, people are more educated than ever because of the internet and everything that's been going on. We've been around a long time, other places. So there's education out there. People understand. So hopefully they want to make the right decisions.
I love Johnny's positive attitude. I think they get so much both sides. It seems like back in the day, you would actually do research. Nowadays, you type it in, you get both sides, and so you're still conflicted.
Sure,
you
do.
Yeah,
you do.
So I know there's more information. Except the problem is to digest and work through both sides. And again, you don't need to. You get your blood work done, and it tells you everything, and then you do the research. At that point,
yep.
It's like what's really going on, and hopefully you do the blood work and you find out. Perfect. You're gold. You don't have to do nothing. Come back in a couple of years and check it again. See what's going on.
But the best thing about that is even if they do the blood test and everything's good on that blood test, we can still help them achieve something and make them better.
Yeah, that is
still
true. You
can still help somebody get better. It'd be just like me, be like, all right, cool. I'm good where I'm at right now, Mike. I'm good. If I do that, that's no good. I'm staying stagnant right now. I'm not progressing. I want to progress. I want to do other things. I want to do new things. I want to get better in some of the aspects. And people want to do that. And it might not just be building muscle like that. A lot of people, honestly, that come here, they don't care about building muscle. There's
I would
people
think
that
the majority.
how do I build
don't,
muscle?
right?
How do I build muscle? There's people that I don't care about working out. I don't care about building muscle. I just want to feel good, have energy, and have a good quality of life. Or I just want to bang my girl and have a good time doing it. Right? I mean, so there's other things that people want to achieve, even whether it's better mental clarity or being better, like, to achieve things. Like, people want to be able to focus harder on something so they can achieve another goal. And that could be like studying for an insurance exam. I've got people that do real world scenarios. So where they're trying to just focus in and pass this thing in like 3 to 4 days, they're locking themselves in a room. And instead of abusing Adderall, they're using NAD. So it's super cool with dihexa. So they're combining these two for the ultimate nootropic like package, I guess, or combination.
Is it dihexa?
Dihexa. It's a little capsule. So I mean, this is something that can change a game just like that. And that's mental power, not physical power, right? And that goes good along. I mean, I tell people, listen, you should be mentally strong and physically strong, right? Along with emotionally. But these things will make you a better person and make you like an adversary, man, to anybody out there. Like, if you're mentally strong and physically strong, you got the best of both worlds. It's like the Hulk in Avengers that could talk and it was smart. He had all the brute strength and he had all the mental capacity to go along with it. That's cool.
Awesome. Mary, will you please let me know when you do get your results back? I'd love to hear how they are going.
Yes.
Thanks, Mary. Johnny, Jeff has a question for you. This has to pertain to. This goes back to my appearances and stuff like that. Go for it, Jeff.
Yeah. I hear all the time, even like I'm under the weather right now. Is glutathione something that is like helpful, preventative, or even like recovery wise? Yeah.
So for you, Johnny, glutathione, health, antioxidant, preventative, or getting over an illness.
Yeah. So glutathione, right? Glutathione is the mother of antioxidants. This is produced in our liver naturally and depletes from so many different ways. Whether you're sick, you smoke, you drink, there's some different things that will deplete your glutathione. This is something we can blood test for too as well. So this is something you can look at and say, listen, where am I at? But to be preventative or to fight a problem that's going on, glutathione it's something that should be in everybody's regimen. And anti-aging purposes, getting rid of oxidative stress, right? And people ask me, what is oxidative stress? Like, so I tell them like this, and I always go ahead to cars, like, you know what oxidation is? And I'm like, you know what a car, like, remember the metal bumper and it used to rust? Like if salt contacted it, that's oxidation, okay? Same thing happens on the inside. Now, no, we don't have physical rust on the inside, but oxidative stress can start taking us out, right? And eroding from the inside. So this is what compounds or fights oxidative stress. Detoxification. So for liver detox, this is the ultimate best thing to take. Outweighs NAC. If you took NAC with glutathione, that would probably be the best combination, but glutathione by itself is the winner. The reason is glutathione will get your liver in check very quickly, right? Whether it's from a fatty liver, and a lot of people, man, I was reading, listen to this.
Oh boy. Oh, you're going to give us another percentage.
I do. I like my numbers, man. I do like my numbers. And so we find something I was just like, I cannot believe like this is a percentage right now.
There's a percentage for all this stuff that you give us. That's United States. England is twice as much. Like your percentage, England, they're doing better than us. So
no. Every other country is pretty much doing better than us.
Well, but it's crazy to think that we're 8% that shows abs, and England is at 15. It's like it's just a small, but it's a large when you think of it. But that being said,
it really isn't. So here it is.
What is this research that you're just pulled up now? What is this?
Yeah, so 5 to 10% of kids have fatty liver disease already.
5 to
kids,
10
and this
already.
is from 12 to 18.
Fatty liver
ages 12 to 18, 5 to 10%. It's in that category. I know it's not it. And 1 in 5 are pre-diabetic right now, 12 to 18 years old. So if kids got fatty livers already, what do you think is going to happen when they grow up?
Do a 1970s. Do that same one 1970s.
What was the average of kids in 1970 with fatty liver disease? I'm trying to look for that one. I don't even know if they have that.
Probably was something that would never.
So
This is something that was very uncommon back then. People weren't eating as much fried food. We didn't have the food source we have now. It's not like that. It was a lot better back then than it is now, for sure.
1% back in 1970.
yeah, so it's 1960,
Wow.
1971%. For the 80s, it bumped up to 2%.
Wow.
90s went to 3 to 5, and then 2000
It's 5 to 10.
9, and then now it's 10 to 15.
Jeez Louise.
But it's also separated. There's like, all right, children are 10 to 15% have fatty liver in the 2010s, 2020s. But out of those children, the ones that are obese, 40% of them have the fatty liver.
Oh yeah, it goes up.
Well,
It
shit.
goes up. That's what I'm saying.
40%
And
of
think
them.
about it. That's them at a younger age. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to continue on the path.
They'll get better.
And it's gonna
No, it reverses.
They'll get
They'll
better.
get better in time. They'll thin out. They'll.
Yeah.
They don't get better. They don't get better. It just gets worse.
Come on,
And
let me
then
have my
with happening
sarcasm.
like that, their liver is not working like it should. So it's not filtering the other things like it should. And now everything is messed up. Like, so that's one thing glutathione can stop. It can, if you have a fatty liver, it can get your liver back in check and you can get rid of fatty liver. This is something that Western medicine should start incorporating for our young kids. But
Absolutely.
you know what? Pharmaceutical companies probably don't want you to do that. But if you have a fatty
my
liver,
boy's getting in
glutathione's your answer.
office. My boy's going to straighten this stuff out.
You know
He's
what?
gonna
I
keep the
cannot
peptides.
wait.
He's gonna
Dude.
change the world, man.
Listen, I just want them to go through these agencies, and I'm not going to say it, but you know who I'm talking about. FDA. I want them to go through all these agencies and really start cracking down, because it's messed up. I mean, it's just so messed up. They were showing, pretty much everybody that leaves those agencies goes and gets a job from big pharma, and like the percentage like they get like money wise, just it's astronomical. So they gotta be like, hey, before they leave that agency, like, hey, listen, do this and do that before you go, and you're gonna have this cushy job over here. So hopefully they're gonna set some terms for these people too as well. I don't know. It's just it's a messed up system. Anyway, glutathione is good for that too as well. The other thing glutathione is good is for your sperm. So there's studies on this too as well. For fertility, glutathione is definitely a good one to have in your arsenal. So if you're looking to get pregnant, you want your girlfriend to have a baby or wife, look into glutathione too as well. Another good thing for it too.
For those bobos, probably reverse it, because his pull-out game is terrible. He doesn't need 5 more kids. So just FYI to you guys, just be good, be healthy, and that's what this is about, and that's what today was. And Johnny, you absolutely demolished it. You gave them so much insight today on how to prevent, bulletproof, and make their bodies better.
Yes.
Thanks for hanging out today, Johnny.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Brought it, and all the best to the pups. And before I just got a nice job on being a dad and letting the young Peter have his first. I'm guessing this is his first real, like, his pup.
Yeah.
So a dog guy and myself.
I think it was for a day or so. I think it's going to be Sharice's dog now, because that dog's been with me 24/7.
A house full of dogs is a great house, in my opinion.
It definitely is. Wait till you visit next time. It'll be Dog Central.
All right, brother. Have a great day today, and I'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
Soon.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, today I think just crushed the aspect of what we believe in, and that's protecting yourself for future, fixing yourself if you're at a stage right now. And you talk about motivation and setting yourself up to win. this is a great kickstart. So head over to Titan Medical, get your blood work done. Let's see what we're going into the new year. And then for me, you guys already know that I'm doing power bodybuilding. I don't know if I should say how much I did today or Sunday, but man, the cardiovascular that's going along with the power bodybuilding is man, so noticeable. So for you guys that want to get big and strong going into the new year's, just join me and the Titan crew. And remember, we're going to go over there right now and finish up the check-ins for the Titan crew. So if you haven't done your check-in yet, get over there right now, get that on the list, and I will see you and answer your questions here fast.